Oh, the one that started it all. John Wick stars Keanu Reeves as John, a man who just lost his wife. His wife sends him a dog to help him cope with her death. A little bit later, John has a run-in with some gangsters at a gas station that take a liking to his car. That night, they break into his house to steal his car and kill his dog. Turns out that person that they thought was a nobody is actually a somebody. So looking back on this movie and looking at the franchise as a whole, this one definitely felt more like a proof of concept. You can tell the studio was never sure that it would take off the way it did. But boy, take off it did, and it is awesome. This movie has a perfect runtime, and once it starts up, it never slows down. You get about 15 to 20 minutes of character development and plot that drives the action points forward. But once John goes into action, he just keeps going and he never lets up. Keanu Reeves plays John perfectly, and he crushes it in the action scenes. Man, in this film, he is just a headshot master. Literally every shot is a headshot. And if he doesn't get a headshot, he basically shoots the guy in some other part of his body and then just gets the headshot right after. In addition to the ruthless assassin side of John, Keanu also portrays the heartful side of the character as well. The flashback scenes with his wife really shows that he cares about her, and his interactions with his new dog Daisy really show a heartful side to this character. It's a great counterbalance between his two personalities. And it really makes you understand why he is so driven to get these people who kill Daisy and take the really last thing his wife gave him before she died. It wasn't just about the dog. Everyone in the movie goes on about, oh, it's just a dog, it's just a dog. But there is one very explicit scene where he explains what the dog meant to him, and it really gives you an idea of what is going through his head. So now let's talk about Viggo and Yosef, played by Michael Nyqvist and Alfie Allen. So Viggo and Yosef have this father-son relationship where Yosef is like the spoiled brat kid who always had a powerful daddy, and he acts immature and undisciplined. And Viggo is kind of annoyed by him because he is immature and undisciplined. And you can tell it just creates this dynamic of a father who kind of doesn't care about his son, but his son is trying to earn his respect. I also like the way the movie brings Viggo into the fold and puts him at odds with John. John has no beef with Viggo originally, but Yosef killed John's dog, and now that John wants to kill Yosef, Viggo sort of has to be involved and feels obligated to protect his son. So what does any good gangster daddy do to protect his son from the Baba Yaga? Well, he hires other assassins to take out John. One of those assassins is Perkins. Adrian Palicki does a great job portraying this ruthless assassin. While John, as I said, is a decent counterbalance between soft and hard, Perkins is all ruthless. When Viggo puts out the hit on John, you can tell she really gets off on the idea of taking out this legendary person in this underground world. She even goes so far as to break one of the cardinal rules of the Continental, and that is no business conducted on Continental grounds. Let's just say that doesn't work out too well in her favor. Marcus, played by Willem Dafoe, is another hitman hired by Viggo to take out John. However, Marcus is secretly playing on Team John. The film seems to give off a mentor-apprentice vibe between the two of them, and Marcus certainly seems to move a lot like John in one scene. The last two characters in the film I should mention are Sharon and Winston, played by Lance Reddick and Ian McShane. They're not given as much to do in this film as they are in the subsequent film, so I won't talk about them too much. Winston mainly serves as a character to drive the plot forward in certain regards, and Sharon is really just the concierge in this film. Their characters are much more expanded on in the future. One of the other things you have to talk about is the lore of this film. It almost feels like a character unto itself. The customs and the rituals and the rules of this sort of underground world that John used to be a part of and is now dipping his toes back in. Granted, it's only touched upon a little bit in this movie, and that's probably the one negative. I would have liked to have seen it explored much more because it's very intriguing throughout the film. In summation, this is a great beginning to an awesome franchise. If you've never watched any of these movies, I would recommend you start now. You won't be disappointed. I give John Wick 4 out of 5 parallels. All right, everyone, I've been Mr. Parallel. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you like what you see, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.